Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
again. We're going to do that again. I want to do it. Maybe it's a little louder than I'd like it to be. You know, just a tad bit louder than I'd like it to be. Good morning, my beautiful people. It's nice to see you. It is Thursday all day. This is the Bullhorn Betty channel. We are the loudest channel on the internet, and it's nice to see you all. We cover true crime, but we've been kind of getting political with it, and we're going to be transferring some of that political stuff over to another channel while we cover true crime on this channel. We got quite a few things going on. Oh, Nurse Sandy, it is nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. Let me get you back up there. I hope you like it. We've changed the show up a little bit. We've went to OBS. I'm really kind of liking it. I have a little more flexibility to do what I want. The pictures coming in a lot better, and the best part about it is I'm not paying an arm and a leg like I was paying with StreamYard, and I feel like I'm getting a better quality product for literally a lot cheaper. Like zero cost compared to $80 a month. Like I'm loving it. It's been taking a little more time. A lot more, you know, the good news is this is not my first technical experience. I've built websites before, you know, and I've had my hand in OBS. I just never really took the leap to force myself to learn it. And then I finally just had it. And we are now on OBS running our, but we haven't had anybody. I know I can do the phone calls through here and probably won't have any problems, but I haven't done the video chatting yet. You know, I haven't figured out whether we're going to use like Restream or, you know, StreamYard to get people on. I think there's a different way I can do that. I think I can do that with Google Meets and completely bypass all of the streaming services. But anyways, that's just a tangent that I was going on. I haven't seen you in a while, so I thought I'd tell you, hey, with a long drawn out what we've been doing. So I hope everybody's doing well today. We've got a lot of stuff to go over. We're going to be going over the government shutdown. We're going to be going over Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds is a man that's going to be, hopefully, the governor. I've been wanting him to be governor of our state for at least a minimum of 5 or so years. Actually, it's been a decade. I think I sat next to him back in 2016 at the Republican Liberty Caucus breakfast, or was it a dinner? I can't remember. And I was with him and his wife, you know, sitting with him and his wife, and I had an opportunity to kind of have them to myself, well, me and the table, for an entire dinner. And so one of my biggest questions was, when are you going to become governor of the state of Florida? Governor of the state of Florida, governor of the state of Florida. Well, he has never committed to being governor of the state of Florida, but now it looks like we might actually pick him up. So we're going to be going over some of that stuff. We have David and Celeste case. This has kind of been taking a forefront in true crime because this is a 14-year-old girl that wound up in like a trunk on the front of a car because it's Tesla, so it's a frunk. I don't know what the heck they're called, but either way, she was young. We found out she had a whole bunch of cosmetic surgery. It sounds like she may have some fluid on the brain. How did she get stuffed in this frunk? And who is responsible for her death? Was it a medical procedure that went bad? Was it his manager, because she's only a single block away from where his manager was staying? What in the world is going on? And of course, we're going to get an update, not really a recent update, of Lester Isbell. He's a case that I covered that not too many people are covering. I'm going to give an update on that. We're going to be discussing the serial killer in Houston. Is there a serial killer in Houston, Texas? And why are people believing it? And we're going to be getting a little jiggy with it with some entertainment with two major icons for Bullhorn Betty, which is Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. They apparently are divorcing, but don't worry, we are not just done there. We are going to be talking about the Ellen Greenberg case and go over some of those details as well. Oh, thank you, Nurse Sandy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Bless you. Bless you, my child. And lastly, after the Ellen Greenberg, that's a hot mess express. We're going to be starting our show out with a Netflix nuke. Holy crap. I had no idea Netflix was going into the grooming business, the grooming of children and adolescent minds. And lo and behold, that is exactly what the Netflix brand is doing. And there are a lot of people that are absolutely done. Stay away from our blessed kids. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You do not want your child knowing that it's okay to be touched in certain areas, especially when our whole entire life and upbringing has been to say no and tell mommy and daddy when there's a bad touch. Now bad touches are good touches. That is what they're teaching our children. I'm done. Okay. Just done. Done. I'm done. We are no longer going to live in a messed up society where we're told everything that we've learned is wrong. That good is bad and bad is good. I'm no longer going to play. I'm stepping off of this psych op, okay? I'm done. I'm done. Netflix is done too, according to a lot of people. Elon has decided he's had enough. It sounds like he's going to be going out and setting up some other type of brand to take Netflix out. He's done. We're done. Stay away from our blessed children. Quit trying to corrupt the minds of our children. Quit trying to tell them it's okay that good touch is the bad touch that we've been teaching our children is now good touch. We are no longer going to play this game anymore. Okay, we're having an appetite of adults with children, okay? We're seeing it proliferate our schools, and it's because they've got some warped thing going on in their brain that they're teaching people that it's okay to do this to children. And people are being turned on as they're teaching their children, okay? And then they're acting on it. Why? Because we haven't taught our children in a really long time this thing called self-control. So now we have all these people that have no education and self-control teaching these children, and then next thing you know, oh, how did that teacher wind up in bed with that student? Oh, good gracious. We can't figure it out. We can't figure it out. So it's over. I think Netflix has done themselves in. I haven't been with Netflix since like the first, everybody boycott Netflix. If you guys know anything about me, I don't play this game. Like once I say that you're not, that I've got to boycott you, I'm pretty much boycotting you, okay? With the exception of the Cracker Barrel, okay? The Cracker Barrel, I actually might go back to. They're making fresh biscuits again. But Netflix, I didn't like them the first time, okay? The first time we said we're defunding, I stuck with it. I was loyal to the cause. Now we're back here. Oh, yeah, the NFL's been boycotted. I don't think anybody watches NFL anymore. They don't go to the stadiums and watch anymore, okay? They sit at home because they can't stand it anymore. That Bad Bunny guy, I hear that we're going to have ice in the stadiums. So, come one, come all. Come one, come all. I'm just saying. I love our government that trolls people. I mean, we have a very hilarious government, okay? A professional, hilarious, get into the trenches, sling mud, whatever. I'm down with it, okay? I'm down with it. You guys might think I'm a whack-a-mole. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, but I'm down with it. I'm down with it like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying here. Down like 4 flat tires. There we go. Down like 4 flat tires. And then we leave it to Benny, right? I love Benny. Benny's my guy, okay? Benny's my guy. He's funny. I don't know how he got so funny, but he's funny. He's funny.
Canceled his own Netflix.
I don't know if I'm allowed to play that boom, 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 but we'll do it in little sections because, Elon is saying, just canceled my Netflix subscription. Elon's saying same. And it had to do with, and I watched some of these videos, guys, that this is not children videos. This is soft porn for kids in you know, cartoon form. Okay, make no mistake what we're watching here. We're watching companies telling our kids that it's okay to be touched. Okay? This is proliferating through our schools. Don't tell mommy and daddy. If you get pregnant, we'll sneak you off and have you a quick abortion, right? Don't tell mommy and daddy. That is what's being taught. That is what's been being taught for the last 10 years. I'm tired of it. And we've got these TV companies like Netflix co-signing this crap. Okay? Let me tell you the position of the Bullhorn Betty channel. Keep your freaking hands off our children. Okay? In every literal sense you can imagine. Sexually, deviantly, you know, screwing up their heads. Keep your hands off our kids. Okay? I'm a barbaric woman. You don't want to see what I will do lawfully and legally for the children. Okay? I'll do a lot. Lawfully and legally. And then I will beg the local government to do something about it. Okay? You don't want to see what I will do for my children. And my children, when I talk about my children, I'm talking about America's kids. Okay? That's where I reside, in America. I don't go outside of America. You know, Hispanic children in different countries, they're the responsibility of whatever activists and advocates are in those countries. In this country, in the United States of America, you have people like Bullhorn Betty. Okay? And there's a lot of other people just like me out there. I'm not, I'd like to think that I'm unique, which I am. I'm beautifully unique. But I'm not the only unique person out there, okay? There's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. But the message is keep your hands off. Keep your grubby hands off our kids. Netflix, do you hear me? Do you hear me, Teachers Union? You guys do not want to piss off or wake this sleeping bear. Because when this bear is woken up, there's a lot of bears that are woken up. And when there's a lot of bears that are woken up, then you got yourself a lot of bear problems, okay? And in this society, we don't go bear hunting. Blame a Democrat for that, okay? We can't go bear hunting anymore. So you're going to wake up a lot of sleeping bears, and you're not going to have anything to do but have to listen to their BS. I'm just saying.
Account. Not because he can't afford it, he's the richest man in the world, but because Netflix
is dropping. Ooh, good gracious. Netflix was doing well, too. Almost $1,200 a share? $1,200 a share? Good gracious. And we're arguing about the poor little Cracker Barrel with the $54 a share. Good gracious, folks. Good gracious.
is actually woke garbage. And now, because of Charlie Kirk, of all people, this culture war is hitting a head. And we're going to talk about exactly why millions of people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions, why Netflix stock is absolutely tanking.
Tanking, he says, tanking. And I got to tell you, I'm not part of this Netflix cancellation culture. I canceled them a long time ago through the first round of cancel culture, and I never signed back up for them. Didn't like them then, don't like them now. They've only gotten worse. But now that I'm seeing them actually grooming children on their platforms, I think there needs to be a federal investigation.
Right now, I mean, it is just collapsing totally in the red. And you can see that it is on a massive downward slope this month. It's cratering. Why is that happening exactly? Well, because one, Netflix executives and people who work at Netflix, key creators, have had their posts about Charlie Kirk resurfaced, found out. So many of the top Netflix brass hated Charlie Kirk, called him a Nazi after he was shot by a transgender actor.
Oh, well, let's just, not one person on Netflix believes in the conservative cause. Do you know 100% of their employee contributions went to only Democrat policies? So let's not, here it is. Okay? We're not playing this shit. Here's a good example.
Park. It's
Radical, completely sick, sexual undertones to it for children. Here, I'll give you just an example.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place.
Like, you see what I'm saying? I don't like it. I'm not jiggy with it, okay? I'm not jiggy with it. There are not this many trans children out there, okay, folks, okay? They're a very minority type of, just this enclave of people in this big thing. I'm tired of talking about it. If you've got problems, you think you're a boy or girl or whatever, go seek help. It's not my problem. If you're gay, congratulations. Welcome to being out of the closet. Nobody cares who you're fucking, okay? Let me be clear on that. Nobody cares. Okay? I don't care whether you're doing a boy, a girl. I don't care. Okay? It's 2025. We don't need parades. Okay? If you want to get out of the closet, come out of the closet. This is the more of a better time now than any other time in the history of America. We're ultra accepting of just about everything. I mean, outside of you fiddling with kids, you're good. Okay? Stay away from the kids. We don't care. Okay? If you're wanting to do the dog or the cat, please, by all means, don't put it on the internet. Okay? Nobody wants to see that either. Right? We don't need a parade for that either. And if you do decide you want to go with the doggy and the kitty and you put it on the internet, you're probably going to get thrown in jail. Okay? Because that's not illegal. Or it's not legal. Okay? Neither are children. So you stay away from these areas. I think you'll be just fine. Okay? I don't really care who you're screwing, okay? I'm not a bigot. I don't care. It's against my religion. I choose not to do that. That's just a personal choice, a personal and moral choice for me. But by all means, whatever you want to do, it's all you, boo. I don't care. I'm from Florida, okay? We see freaks walking down the street all day long, okay? You want to be a freak in the sheet? That's your business, okay? I'm not asking you to put it out here on the internet. I don't want it out here on the internet. I could care less. All right? I don't even like the fans only. Okay? I'm not a fans only gal. You guys get the drift? Okay? You get the drift? We don't care. Okay? Let's just put an end to it now. We don't care. Okay? The real folks out here in America, we don't care. Okay? You want to go behind I'd prefer you guys having a bed, making sweet love, whoever it is, right? But if you want to be behind the garbage, the garbage dumpster, go ahead. If that's the way you have to hide it, do you, boo? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But keep your grubby hands off our children. Keep your grubby, disgusting, immoral hands off our kids. There's not that many gay and trans kids out there. The only reason why you're trying to make everybody confused is so you can use that for your advantage, your sick, twisted advantage one day. We say no. Netflix, I hope you are extinguished. You've been around long enough. You knew better. You still chose to groom our children for your sick, twisted people. Bye, boo. I canceled you a long time ago, so if you fall at this point, I could care less. I can tell you our government's not going to care. We support Elon. I'm pretty sure Elon's going to have a bigger, better product, a lot more cost-effective, and at least we know that our monthly contribution isn't going to a bunch of pedophiles. Okay? Just to let you know. We say no to pedophilia, and therefore we say no to Netflix. So there it is, folks. Now we're going to move on over because this is a pretty crazy story. This is not really a whole lot of politics involved, but it does have a tinge of domestic violence. Domestic violence. A whole bunch of kids being put in a situation. Mom decides she's done. She wants to drive the kids and herself into the pond. Yep, folks, she decides she wants to drive herself into the pond with her children, as if their life in the house is not already messed up. Now mom's pulling a Susan Smith, but her children are a little older. Now, the problem is one of the children and the mom didn't quite pop up as quickly as the other kids that got out of the vehicle. There was two other children that were able to be saved. mom and another child is in the hospital right now. I don't know their condition. Maybe they have since stated their condition. I have missed that. I'm not going to play you a video. I'm just going to read because the reading is probably a little bit easier for you guys anyways. It's day 2 of an investigation into a mother and her 3 children who were pulled from a pond on the family's property Monday morning in Liberty County, Texas, for those folks that don't know where this is. Child Protective Services says they have the custody of the children involved in this and have placed them in foster care. This comes after the children's father, Domingo, 61, was booked into Liberty County on Tuesday. He is charged with animal cruelty. Don't know what happened there. Did he kill the dog? The family dog? I don't know. Investigators with the sheriff's office say the father told 911 that his wife began giving the children NyQuil before attempting to drown them. So it sounds like an entire catastrophe is going on inside this home. Major problems. Fathers beating the animals, moms drugging the kids and loading them in a car and then trying to dump them out here in this pond. And this all took place at 6:13 in the morning and found 3 children near the water. The mother remained in the pond. They did go and get the mom and the other child. Deputy says the 6-year-old and the 15-year-old were conscious and alert and were transported to Memorial Hermann Hospital. There was an 11-year-old daughter and the 39-year-old mother that were found unconscious, and both were airlifted. And as of Tuesday, we have no other information for the 11-year-old or the 39-year-old mother, but the boy and the girl were listed in stable condition, the 6 and the 15-year-old. Right now, they don't have a specific focus on either of the parents. They're looking at both of them. We interviewed the father. We conducted forensic interviews of the children. It sounds like a real horrific family. It sounds like this is a family that's littered with domestic violence and unstable stuff. So just a sad story, folks. And I think that this is a call to all of my, we don't like, let's face it. We don't want to be involved in people's lives, right? We want to think that everybody is living their life well. We want to believe that, there's no violence in these homes with these children. And so we dismiss a lot because there's no violence in our home, right? We don't have these type of things going on in our lives. So naturally, and this is what I find out more than not, because, and I've got to tell you that I'll give you my history here in just a second. But many of the times, we don't think about things. Why? Because we don't do them. Therefore, they're not top of mind. For example, when I first came out here and say I wanted to raise money for, donations. I think at the time I was first coming out here, we raised I think one of the first donation drives, we raised like $200 or something like that for food. We had some hurricanes. Olivia and I were about to go out to a hurricane thing. So we decided, why not raise some money? Everybody wanted to help. And so that's what we did. Well, then the hate channels are like, oh, shit, they're going to steal the money. And that is like the furthest thing from my brain, because I don't steal it. If you're not a thief, the first thing you think of is not going to be that of, but you see where these people come from, because that's the first thing that's top of the mind for them. So that tells you their character. And I'm like, why would that be the first? It took me a long time to realize the criminal mindset, but I've learned a lot being, covering true crime. And now I've realized that psychological behaviors are very, very important. So I started studying more so the psychology of people. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Brenda just gifted 10. Oh, goodness, 10 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your 10 Bullhorn Betty memberships or your coveted Bullhorn Betty memberships, don't forget to tell Brenda thank you. I got the wrong one. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. The inside asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. I'm not hearing the dings. Let me find out why we don't hear the dings on the gift chat. Maybe it needs to be... Oh, there we go. Can you guys hear that now? Hopefully you guys can hear that now. For the first time I could hear that. It's been a while. It's been a while. Oh, Reality Wins. I see you there. I love how you do your name. I wish I learned how to do the name thing. They change all the name. You know, that's kind of cool. We'll have to have a program on that at some point. Thank you. No, you guys still can't hear it? I'm hearing it. Huh. I wonder why it's making me put on input and output. I hope it's not going to... I think it's going to end up... What it's going to end up doing the way it is it's... Can you guys hear that now? Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Bless you. Aw. Bless you. Thank you. So, anyways, getting back to this... we just have a lot of problems with the Department of Children and Family Services not doing enough. It sounds like they were involved in this once again, and it took these children almost losing their life before they actually do what's necessary and take those children out of the home. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But this is Lester Isbell. Lester Isbell is a 74-year-old man. This 74-year-old man, he was starting to have, I think, dementia, right? I think he started having dementia and started forgetting, he's getting older. As you start aging, your mind starts playing tricks on you. He was a past, thank you. He was a past preacher and, still went to church, a man of God, a man of faith. And, he went to go, obviously, he went to a payday loan place, so he had obviously fell on some hard times, needed some extra cash, went to a payday loan place, they gave him the cash, and he was in the process of paying that loan back, so he went up there every whatever payment schedule he had to make a payment. And when he got to this payday loan place to make this payment, they noticed that Lester was disoriented. And so they called law enforcement because he didn't want to go to the hospital. Law enforcement brought out the ambulance. They checked him. They realized that he was in very much need of going to the hospital. His numbers were off the chart. He was showing that he was having a medical event, but he was being stubborn because he didn't know what was going on, probably because of the dementia and other stuff. And he was being a little complicated, right? He didn't really want to go to the hospital. He didn't know what was going on with him. And so law enforcement took him, and the family just automatically assumed they were taking him under probably a Baker Act or something like that, where he's not going to be provided a choice to go to the doctors or the hospitals, but they didn't. They ended up arresting him for, what did they arrest him for? Oh, good gracious. I had it on the tip because we were about to go into it right now. Anyways, it was basically, disruption in public, whatever that is. I can't remember. It wasn't public intoxication. It was something else. My brain's running blank. I apologize. Well, we're going to listen to it. They're going to tell you what he was charged with here in just a few moments. Long story short is they ended up taking him to the jail instead of a hospital. And then he fell over and cracked his head open. And so instead of them realizing then he still needed to be checked out by the hospital, they decided to restrain him in a restraint chair and put a bag over his head, a spit bag. And they left him in that restraint chair for hours. I think something like 9 hours until he passed, until he succumbed to his injuries. And he died right there with soiled breeches, sitting in a chair for hours without any water, any help, anybody even coming to check on him, just perished. And before this all happened, he had medical staff and other officers there laughing over him after he cracked himself as they're putting him and treating him horribly. I believe they have upgraded the charges to homicide. So I believe that these officers, including the medical professionals that were there in his room, are going to be held accountable for what they did to this 74-year-old man that was a grandfather, a preacher, a man of faith. It was sickening. It was sickening. It was disturbing. And so the case is moving forward. I'm hoping that it does settle, but I haven't heard any more about it. Another channel, a smaller channel, picked up this case. I'm going to reach out to those ladies and see if they want to do a show with me, specifically about the Lester Isbell case. I think it needs more attention. Just my personal opinion.
Happened when a man died after being in police custody in Monroe County.
We do know now disciplinary action's been taken. We're getting a better picture into what happened to 74-year-old Lester Isbell. Our Sam Luther's joining us. Sam, we got a lot new with this story tonight. We're getting body camera footage. We're also hearing from the sheriff's office.
Yeah, guys, Isbell's daughter says it was a miscommunication that ultimately led to her dad's death. Now, a deputy has been fired, and body camera and security camera footage from the jail shows us a better look into what happened.
You're going to have to go to the hospital or with your daughter or go to jail. I mean, that's just part of it. We're trying to make sure you're okay.
On February 6th, people inside a Madisonville business called 911 after Lester Isbell was acting disoriented and bystanders were afraid he would try to drive. Madisonville police, an ambulance, and Isbell's daughter showed up, where they all acknowledged he was in need of medical treatment.
Heart rate was low. He was, he was in distress. He was having some major medical issues.
In this body camera footage, you hear Madisonville police talk to his daughter, Wendy Duncan, saying Isbell refused to go to an ambulance or be taken to a hospital by Duncan.
We've done everything we know to do to try to get him to go.
They had tried to convince him to go to get medical treatment. He was refusing. He was confused. He, wasn't sure on who the president was, what year it was.
Sheriff Tommy Jones says Duncan, who has power of attorney, signed an against medical advice document which refused the ambulance, so Isbell was then arrested for disorderly conduct.
Don't fight. You're under arrest. Put your hand behind your back.
The problem is they're, again, this is Tennessee. We have the most uneducated law enforcement officers in the state of Tennessee. We need to do better in Tennessee. I'm not a fan of Bill Lee anymore. I'm not a fan of Marsha Blackburn. I'm a fan of we need new leadership in Tennessee. Law enforcement is a shit show in Tennessee. The corruption is rampant in Tennessee. Small town corruption is by far the worst I've ever seen in the state of Tennessee. I travel all over the country. I'm used to dealing with levels of corruption everywhere I go. By far, Tennessee is the absolute worst in this sector, corruption. They have all the tools and utilization at their advantage. They could have taken this man against his will to a hospital because he was a threat to himself or those around him. That is what is the definition of Baker Act. They had no reason to throw him in jail with his... And you know what? Now look at what they did. They created a major liability on the county because they wanted to be hard asses. Way to go, law enforcement, yet again, in Tennessee. In Tennessee. We have the most problems in the state of Tennessee.
Once arriving at the Monroe County Jail, security cameras show Isbell uneasy on his feet and talking to himself in the cell. Eventually, jail staff used a restraining chair, they say, with the goal of keeping Isbell from harming himself. Duncan feels this whole time he should have been in the hospital.
Yeah.
The biggest drop of the ball was when they assured us that they were going to get him medical treatment, and that didn't happen.
At one point, a deputy is seen flashing a middle finger as he left Isbell's cell. Sheriff Jones says that deputy has since been fired, an image shocking to loved ones.
I had thoughts in my head, but I didn't know it.
Oh, we saw a lot worse. We saw some pretty bad stuff. Again, the one thing I don't like about mainstream media is they sanitize a lot. They sanitize a lot when it comes to this stuff. They showed the nicest part. They didn't show them smacking the guy. They didn't show him grabbing his hand. They didn't show the medical staff laughing over this man that has soiled himself. It was disgusting. It looked like they tortured this 74-year-old pastor. That's what it looked like. In Madison County Jail in Tennessee. We're not going to sugarcoat that at all. She's suing. She has a reason to sue. This right here is Byron Donalds. This is why I truly believe we have one of the best states in the union, the state of Florida, and I truly believe the man behind me is going to be the next governor of the state of Florida. You guys have no idea how long I have literally been waiting for this man to put his name to be governor. Even when Matt Gaetz came up and asked me at Mar-a-Lago if I would help him run for governor, I told him I would. I would be happy to. I would absolutely be happy to help him in Manatee County. There's nobody that's going to fight for him harder than me unless, and this is what I told Matt Gaetz sitting in Mar-a-Lago. I told him, I said, unless Byron Donalds runs for governor, then you lose me. Because Byron Donalds, I have been wanting as governor of the state of Florida literally for a decade. And now it sounds like that it's finally possibly happening. So if you guys are in the state of Florida, please help me. Vote for Byron Donalds. He is super, super special to me. He is super, super important to the state of Florida. And he is super, super, super important to the MAGA movement. This man has a pedigree that is by far the best I've ever seen. And I just want to see this man as the governor of the state of Florida. And I'm not going to stop until he is. All right, now I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So we're going to be moving on and getting on with the rest of our case. But right now we do have some major problems, okay? Some of our major problems is we are now officially in a shutdown. And while I agree that, you know, the White House is, you know, memeing it up, like I think, I don't know. I think I have a little more respect for Donald J. Trump than, I mean, it's kind of hard because I've always had respect for Donald J. Trump. Many of you guys know more respect than many of you guys had for him, right? So anyways, here lately, he's been trolling the crap out of the left, okay? And I love it. I'm soaking it up. I'm sorry. I'm not lying to you guys. You guys can hate me, love me. I don't care. He's been hilarious, okay? He's been hilarious with the sombrero memes, okay? Obviously, the sombreros are really crawling up the crawl of the Democrats. Well, here at the White House, they actually put together a video. This is coming from the whitehouse.gov, and this is related. This is their propaganda for the Democrat government shutdown, because we're calling it, you know, obviously the Schumer shutdown, where they're fighting for illegals to have all these benefits, but not for the Americans to have all these benefits. It's the craziest, like I said, starting out the show. We're done with this psych op. We want off this crazy train, okay? Where we're told good is bad and bad is good. We're done. We're done. Okay? We're not for sale. Our minds aren't for sale. Our children aren't for sale, right? And our money isn't up for the whole entire world's consumption. It's to help and take care of the American population, especially the disadvantaged American population, okay? So anyways, I figured I hadn't watched this. I actually was looking for something else, and when I saw this pop up, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will explain the shutdown. And I'm like, you know what? It's coming from the White House. It might be one big meme, right? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot. We'll find out. Is it going to tank the Bullhorn Betty channel? I don't know. Let's find out.
Democrats, the party of open borders, transgender for everybody, lawlessness in our streets, are shutting down the government in an effort to appease the radical left. These Democrats are coordinating their strategy with outside leftist groups and are demanding nearly $1.5 trillion in spending for an agenda that includes healthcare for illegal aliens and much, much more. Democrats for years have railed against government shutdowns, claiming a shutdown would mean much chaos and pain and needless heartache for the American people. Democrats are out of control, and you know who it hurts?
You, everyday people, and the most vulnerable. Seniors, veterans, working families, hungry kids, y'all.
Tell Congress to avoid the Democrat-led government shutdown.
movies. I mean, they really got the spooky, oppressive, ominous, sound behind it with the little spots there. I mean, I don't know. I keep wondering, did Olivia get hired by the White House? That felt Olivia-like. I'm just saying, it felt really Olivia-like. I don't know. So now we're coming down. We're past our first day of this shutdown, right? We had a shutdown. We're all dealing with the craziness of this alleged shutdown. I don't know why everybody's getting all twisted. I'm not twisted over the shutdown. I'm just not. Maybe it's because it doesn't affect me. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm just mean. I don't know. Maybe I'm mean. I might be just too mean. I might just not give a crap about anybody, and I'm just too mean. I'm too mean. I don't know.
Federal government shutdown. Democrats again blocking a Republican funding bill that would reopen the government.
How does this end? Well, it ends when the Senate Democrats pick this bill up, passed by the House of Representatives, and vote for it.
But Democrats first demanding reversals in GOP changes to Medicaid.
The Republican healthcare crisis is immoral in nature, and Democrats are fighting hard to reverse it.
While the White House pointing to a new poll showing 65% of Americans say Democrats should not force a shutdown if their demands are not met.
For the first time since the Democrats have been in politics, they're now saying that unless we get every policy item that we demand, we're going to shut down the people's government. They're trying to take a hostage, and we're not going to let them.
So far, Democrats say their supporters, including federal...
I'm going to tell you right now, they ain't... We're strong, and I'm sorry for the people that are going to be suffering through this, but your suffering will not go unnoticed. I appreciate it. I'm going to tell everybody in advance, thank you for not making it worse than it could be. At the end of the day, there are going to be people, if this last 7 weeks, there's going to be people that are struggling in this country. And most of those people are going to be the already struggling people in our country. They're going to be the most disadvantaged. And that's what the Democrats want. They want to hurt people to force the hand. They're going to make it as uncomfortable for you as humanly possible so you call in and scream so they can get funding. $1.5 trillion in funding. Let me tell you folks something. The ones that are going to be struggling more than not. Okay? It's not going to be enough. I'm sorry that you're about to be struggling. I'm sorry, but you need to blame it where the blame needs to be, and that's on the Democrats. You did not have to struggle. But they are trying to literally extort $1.5 trillion from the American people, or they're going to make you uncomfortable, okay? I'm sorry. We've chosen to make you uncomfortable. That's a choice that a lot of Americans have chose to make. We're sorry that you are going to be affected by this. I will tell you guys that right now. Especially all the people that are on welfare and benefits, we're sorry. But what we will not do is we will not be extorted out of $1.5 trillion, okay, for a bunch of illegal and foreigners. It's not happening again. So if you've got to be uncomfortable, I'm sorry that you have to be uncomfortable, but I also want to thank you very much for you being uncomfortable. I want to thank you for what you are doing for our country. I know it's not going to be easy, but I just want to thank you in advance because I know that you guys are the true troopers out there, especially the ones that are going to be on these federal benefits. We're trying to make sure that you have those federal benefits long into the future. And if we don't fix this now, those benefits that you're receiving right now could come to an end, right? Because people are abusing the system, and every time it's abusing the system, it's taking money out of your mouth. Don't forget that. For those people that are disadvantaged, sick, and cannot work, every time a well-bodied individual is on the system, it's taking money out of your mouth. It's taking your future away. We need to end it today. And if that means being uncomfortable for 7 weeks, by God, I'm sorry you're going through it, but hopefully on the other side of this, you'll have benefits for a longer duration than you would have otherwise. And at the end of the day, it's making sure the people that need the benefits get the benefits, and the people that don't need the benefits are booted off. Get your ass up and go to work. Okay? Trust me. There's many Americans out here that don't want to get up every day and go to work. But you know what? Many of them don't have the choice. They've got children, and they don't have their handout or fraudulently filling out bad paperwork for the federal government to get benefits that they're not entitled to. You all know who is abusing the system. You know which one of yous are doing that. You know which ones of you really need the stuff. So if 7 weeks is what needs to happen to keep $1.5 trillion out of the hands of foreign nationals, then by God, that's where we're going to be. Okay? I don't see us changing. So it's your responsibility to pressure the Democrat counterparts, because I can tell you, coming over here, barking up this tree, we're tone deaf at this point. We're tone deaf. We're sick and tired of watching all of our money get spent on everybody else but what we raise the money to be spent on, which is our American citizens, not foreigners, not sex changes, not food for people that can go and work, not to support illegals coming over here illegally. It is for our people. It's for our people. And our people aren't getting the resources they need because all of our taxpayers being funneled out of the country. I'm done. And you should be too, especially those that are on welfare. You should be willing to go through this 7 weeks of uncomfortability, because you know what? People abusing the system is going to shorten your lifespan on that system. So your actual funding, your future funding matters. You should be all in. You should have 100% buy-in on this shutdown if they're trying to extort $1.5 trillion. I'm just saying. All right. So that's kind of where we are with the shutdown. I'm not going to bend your ears too much with it. And then we have another weird case coming out of Tennessee. You know, I pick up this. The FBI is offering $20,000 for 3 missing. This doesn't sound good. You know, I look at them. I haven't really ran a background check on them, but I can tell you just by what I know, the area they're coming from, there is substance abuse involved in this case somewhere. They have been missing since 2017. I don't know where they would be, but there's now a $20,000 reward. I am believing that law enforcement believes all 3 of these people are deceased, and they would like to find them, and they would like to find out who did this to them. Again, $25,000 right now. Let me just read this to you. Maybe you guys will have some information. I don't know how this is going to look on the screen. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. Love it when everything works out. So I'm going to go over here and read this, and it says, Knoxville, Tennessee. FBI Nashville, Knoxville resident agency is offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of Brenda Carroll, Bonnie Drain, and William Inkelbarger, and the identification, arrest, and conviction of the suspects responsible for their disappearance and or death. All 3 individuals were reported missing from Knoxville in early 2018. The initial reward of $10,000 was announced on August 2024 due to a recently recovered evidence by the Knoxville Police Department. An additional $10,000 has been added to the reward amount. The new evidence has been submitted for lab and for DNA testing. Drain 47 is described as a white female, approximately 5'7", weighing 140 pounds, with brown eyes and brown hair. Drain was last seen at UT Medical Center on December 27, 2017, while visiting a family member. She was reported missing on January 10, 2018. Drain 1998 silver Honda was located on the 21st at an apartment complex in Bridlewood on Bridlewood Drive. Inkelbarger, which is the male, described as 42, is described as a white male, approximately 6 foot tall, weighing 115 pounds, hazel eyes, black hair. Inkelbarger was last seen by his father on Cherry Street Motel on December 29th, 2017. On January 5th, 2018, Eichelberg's father went to check on his son at the same hotel, but was not there, prompting the father to leave a note for his son. The father returned to the motel again on the 11th, where he found most of his son's belongings. Eichenberger was reported missing 1 day later. Now, Carol, 48, is described as a white female, 5'1", 140 pounds, hazel eyes, blonde hair. Carol was last seen on January 1st, 2018, when she was contacted by her sister through Facebook Messenger. At the time, Carol was believed to be in the company of both Drain and Eichenberger. Carol was reported missing on March 19th, 2018. All three were frequently in each other's company, lack of permanent residence, and kept the same social circles. It sounds like maybe a drug deal gone bad. At the end of the day, all three that were in the company of each other within days of each other have all disappeared. All of them. All have disappeared. Now we're going to touch base on the David and Celeste case, but I'm going to take just a few moments to get a drink, to fill up my beverage. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back. So for those, I'm just going to start a song. Many of you guys probably already heard it, but we will be back in just a few moments. I'm going to mute the microphone, and then we'll start the microphone back up once this song's over.
Step one.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go, change my fate, you won't understand.
Hello, my beautiful people. Well, hello, my beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're going to be getting in on Celeste and David's case. Hold on, let me make sure I'm going through this. I've bounced around too much on this. Celeste and David's case, and this is her ex-boyfriend, and this is an interview that he gave. So I wanted you guys to hear this for yourself. This is her ex. This is not obviously David. Hey, K-Star, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well.
She was, I guess, she liked me, or she was looking for someone, and yeah, she just, we started talking.
And what school was this in?
Lakeland Village.
Was she sweet? Was she kind? Was she bubbly? What do you remember about her?
She was really kind, and she said she wanted something serious.
And how old were you when you met her?
13 or 14.
So at what point did you feel, or did you hear from Celeste that there were problems at home?
She said how her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at.
Did she talk at all about her relationship with her parents?
Kind of. She just said they were mean or whatever. She didn't like them.
And then you guys broke up, and the next thing you know, you find out that she's involved with this internet sensation, David.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna happen, like, at all, because, like, she was always, like, so happy and stuff.
What is your last memory that you have of Celeste?
We were at PE, and she told me and my friend that she was running away, and she said it was because of her parents, and she was like joking about it, and she was like happy, like joking like she always was, and like it didn't seem real because like she was like playing around, joking about it, and the next day she wasn't at school, and like that's the last time I saw her.
Did it break your heart that you were not going to be with her, or did you feel upset about losing the relationship?
Not really. It was kind of clear that we're like better as friends, but it was kind of sad that I wasn't able to like say goodbye, or like see how she was doing, like when she ran away.
What was your reaction when you saw the breaking news that they had found your ex-girlfriend's body in the trunk of his car?
My heart dropped. I was like, I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. I kind of had a feeling when I saw, like, the first thing. I was like, what if it is her? But I just, like, brushed it off. But when I saw it really was her, I was like, damn, I really knew.
So let me just make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You had seen the news out of Los Angeles that a body was found in his car.
Yeah.
And you immediately had a sinister thought about Celeste?
Yeah, because one of my friends told me.
Were you at home with your mom when they identified Celeste and you saw it all over the news? Can you remember that moment for us?
Yeah, I was on the way to school, and then like she just like showed me, and like I took a picture of it and I sent it to one of my friends, and he's like, yeah, I saw it too, it's crazy. And I just couldn't believe it.
So this has been the talk of the school?
Yeah.
Just the fact it was someone that my son was so close to at one time, and how everything happened, it's kind of scary. It's really close to home. And if it could happen to her, it could happen to anyone. And everyone just needs to be very careful on social media.
What about you? What do you think about at night when this kind of
Social media, I mean, what I heard here is, she was, being abused at minimal verbal abuse from her mother, which is what pushed her out of the home to begin with. She ran away. Her mom and dad didn't call her in as runaway. She stopped going to school. Nobody called her in as a runaway. And then, lo and behold, over a month or so later, she winds up in the trunk of somebody's car, or her boyfriend's car. And she's been there for weeks. Weeks. Her parents should be in jail. So should David. Somebody needs to explain this. But more importantly, her parents put her in danger. Her parents are ultimately the ones responsible for her. How in the world is she dropping out of school and not coming home at night, and parents aren't calling her in? The parents are pieces of shit. The parents need to be looked at. The parents need to be questioned. This whole situation wouldn't have started unless there was problems at home to begin with. Period. I'm not saying David and her love wouldn't have, developed. But it developed because of this chaos and this craziness going on in her household. She wouldn't have had the time to spend with him, to flourish that relationship, if she wasn't out on her own and her family wasn't so mean as she has told other people. Her family was being mean. Her family's mean to her. We know that she was not in the house and came back to visit the family for her birthday, but she wasn't staying there. It seemed like the family was perfectly fine with that. I told you there was going to be more with this family. I told you guys this when we started covering this case, that there's no way I believe this family didn't know nothing. And I was referring to her family. Her family. And now we're finding out a little bit more from her ex. Now, I mean, he looks brokenhearted. His mother looks devastated. Any mother would look devastated in a situation like this, especially knowing your child had feelings for that person or conversations. This is stuff that stays with children for a really long time. So we've got all this stuff going on. And, again, I'm not sure how I feel about this whole situation with, Celeste and her family. I feel like there was something going on here. And I do think that this new information from the ex-boyfriend really does shed some light on some of the abuse going on in her. Did you see the video of her yelling at her neighbors? Of course, yeah. But at this point, she's kind of like the spoiled rich kid, right? So she thinks everybody, it was a ding-dong ditch. She lost her stuff over it and made a scene. And at this point, that's who she's become. She's now become this. But that video there is what made me realize her parents know more about this relationship than they initially let on. They initially let on like she had been gone for a month. That's untrue. That's untrue. They didn't care where she was. Let's face it. Her family didn't care. Her family didn't care. Her family didn't care. And that's what it seems to be for me. Her family just didn't care.
And his dead underage girlfriend named Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We have heard it before, and we heard it again just last night, that Celeste ran away from her family again and again for a reason. Reports said that the girl's home life was troubled. Her middle school boyfriend, before she ran off with David, said that her mother treated her badly. And
Yeah. We want to know why we're here with this young lady? It's because of her home life. This is why it is so important, folks. You can't have a shitty home life with your children. It affects them their entire life. All of my problems I went through, the horrible paths that I took myself down as an adult and a young teenager, was a direct result of the childhood trauma I was dealing with and did not know how to deal with it, because we're not taught that, right? It took me going down horrible avenues, being on drugs and alcohol and abusing my body, before making it to the rooms to understand that a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with, a lot of the stuff that I was trying to push down, had to do with my childhood trauma. You start addressing that childhood trauma, it's amazing how the world changes for you. And so this young lady had childhood trauma going on inside her house. To what extent, we don't know. We don't know. But she seemed to be, a very vibrant girl at such a young age of 14. It didn't seem like she was being defiant, so to speak, to her parents. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle just gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, it looks like it went to Pale Rider. Welcome aboard, Pale Rider. We love Pale Rider. Pale Rider has always been part of the family, but welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the insane, it's I love. Grab your straight jacket in your padded room and welcome aboard, because Daddy's a love machine. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying, not playing. But she seemed like she, even her ex-boyfriend talking about, she was 13 or 14, right? She's 13 or 14 and wants a serious relationship. That tells you something. Why does she need that serious relationship? Because she's done. She wants to be out of her family's hair. She wants to be living her life, and she wants somebody that's going to be there for her. And so, Robin gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, it looks like it went to D. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the insane asylum. Grab your straight jacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. And I know the reason why she did it, because I'm a love machine. Saying she had ex-boyfriend as well. She's too young to date. But you know what? You're right about that. But the kids that are in horrible relationships, and again, we don't know to the extent of the abuse. Okay, I'm going to always keep putting that out there because she's a young girl in a not so good area, right? There could be a lot of SA type of abuse. There's a reason why she wanted out. There's a reason why she wanted to leave. There's a reason why she needed a man. So obviously that's what she was taught inside her home. She knew whatever she was going through, her mom was being mean to her. Could it be because her mom's boyfriend was being, handsy with her? We know how some of these women are, right? We dealt with that Soto chick, right? Madeline Soto and her mom, Jen Soto. Disgusting, vile piece of garbage that put her daughter into risky situations up to her death. But let's listen to what Ashley Banfield has to say about this.
And that she often talked about running away. And now TMZ has the receipts of repeated police visits to Celeste's family home in Lake Elsinore, California, 70 miles away from the Hollywood Hills, where Celeste sought refuge in David's mansion. TMZ has learned that the Riverside County Sheriff's Department responded to calls about Celeste's family or from Celeste's family about 11 times in a little over a year. The dates are February 2024 to April 2025. And remember, the family reported Celeste missing for the last time in April of 2024. So those calls continued for a year while she was ostensibly missing. And until this week, we believed that April of 2024 was the last time that they'd seen each other, right? Celeste and her family. But now we know different. And I'm going to come back to that in a hot minute.
So we know that she was out there with the neighbors. And so we're going to be going over this running away from the house. Hold on a second. There's got to be something else here. This is when she's out in the parking lot. We'll get past that. And we'll get to more information. Okay.
All of the police visits were listed as, quote, minor crime investigation, except for one of them. And that one was described as, quote, suspicious circumstances. Again, no details available from the police, but the dates of these calls speak volumes. 3 of the calls happened on one day, March 19th, 2024, which, by the way, yeah, that's the day that Celeste ran away. She was caught on surveillance camera in a neighborhood liquor store, running down the street at 7 a.m. A black car was seen pulling out after her, but it's not clear if Celeste had gotten into it. This was just something that happened that the liquor store owner saw, but it wasn't caught on tape. 2 of the 3 visits that day were to Celeste's home. Cops came to her home 2 times, but the 3rd visit that police made was to that liquor store. Celeste's sister also visited that liquor store on that day and asked to review that surveillance video. One of the other police visits that TMZ documented.
I feel like they knew that she was running away from home. I think they knew that why she was running away from home, and I think the family knew that she was running to a celebrity type of guy. I don't think that they cared. I think they cared for a hot minute, but then after that they didn't care.
Was at 9:29 p.m. on April 5th, 2024. That time is about a half hour after the family reported her missing to the police for the very last time. So they report her missing at 9 p.m. and at 9:30 the police are at their door. Officially, Celeste was still missing when her badly decomposed remains were found here in this impound lot in the front trunk of David's Tesla. This was 23 days ago. But was Celeste really still missing without a trace at this point?
I'm starting to feel like this was her vehicle. I don't know why. I feel like he gave this vehicle to her. You know, David, she's 14, 15, probably just driving without a license. But for whatever reason, I feel like this was her vehicle, that he gave this vehicle to her to use. And was she up to no good? I don't know. She seemed like she was, you know, in love with him. Would she be running off with somebody? I don't know. And people said, well, it's because she was pregnant. She was not pregnant. So why would she lose her life? Why would she be murdered? It appears that there must have been some type of altercation between her and David. That's the only thing I can think of. Her and David, or unless there was a love triangle and it encompassed his manager, because his manager was only like, from what I hear, where this car is right here is only like a block or 2 from his manager's home. I find that ironic, okay? Because somebody needed to drop this car off. somebody needed to stage the scene. And when I start hearing that a manager was in XYZ, ways away, did David just pop up at his manager's house one day, all of a sudden said, hey, I need you to take me back to the office? Or did the manager just go to work one day and act like nothing was going on, and while David's sitting there screaming and crying about his girlfriend being missing? What are we looking at here? Was it a conspiracy between him and his agent? I don't know. I'm just saying that this is awfully close to an agent's house. I don't like that. It's awfully close to somebody that she knew's home. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. It gives me the EBGBs.
The other day, TMZ acquired video of Celeste in her parents' backyard on September 8th of 2024. That's 5 months after she supposedly ran off for the last time. And it's also one day after her 14th birthday. Amazingly, the coincidence here is that it was 1 year to the day that her remains were discovered in David's trunk. This video was shot and released by neighbors. A different neighbor who heard the argument spoke with our Banfield producers on the ground in Lake Elsinore just today. Have a look.
The first time I saw her, she was walking down the street early in the morning. It was during the colder months, I remember. It was just a 1 second. I was driving down the street and I saw her like big, beautiful curls. And I'm like, oh, that little girl's so pretty. And then I just went on my way. But that was probably like maybe 6 months before she went missing the first time in February 2024.
So you guys are getting it. We got a problem here. Girls running away from home. Obviously a toxic home environment. Runs into the arms of a rich, younger, celebrity type of person. It sounds like, I know those young relationships. They're very controlled. We all were in those young relationships where at least I have, where I ran away from home to be with my beau, right? At 14 and 15. And it was always an abusive relationship. It was always an abusive relationship. So I'm very interested about David's upbringing too. I mean, I know his mom's in part of, in his life and stuff like that, but how much, what kind of mom was she? What kind of mom was she? So that's really all I have on that topic. We're still digging into this. Obviously, this is looking like David's responsible, and it appears that they might be trying to figure out what's going on here. I don't know what's going on in South Carolina and Columbia, South Carolina, but there's been some weird stuff going on in South Carolina. And I think I really wanted this before my Celeste, but I'm not going to get it. I put this it's out of order, so I apologize about that. But this is about a 22-year-old woman in a deadly shooting. This, it says right here, this is from a representative. He's a Republican out of South Carolina, and he's calling for the impeachment of a solicitor in a case involving the deadly shooting of a 22-year-old woman. Norman request comes one day after Steve Frederico, the father of Logan Frederico, addresses congressional hearing. I'm pretty sure that many of you guys did see this. Let me pause this right here. Maybe you guys did see this. The father was very impassioned as he spoke before Congress. He's angry. He's angry because this was yet another career criminal that was let out, and that when his daughter came to visit a friend, she was put on her knees and shot in the back of the head in a robbery. She didn't have any chance of survival. She was there. It doesn't sound like, I haven't heard whether this was an SA attack, but I did hear that she was, nude. So it always makes me wonder what all else this guy did to her. But either way, it's just a horrible situation here, and thought you guys would like to learn a little more about it. Hold on. Why is it doing that? I don't like the way it's looking. All right, so let me turn there we go.
The hearing was very emotional. We got to hear from a CMPD officer hurt in last year's East Charlotte ambush. We also heard from a bail bondsman, and we heard from family members of victims of violent crime. The House Judiciary Subcommittee on Oversight holding a victims of violent crime field hearing in Charlotte Monday, following the deadly light rail stabbing in August.
Absolutely tragic. Leaving a war-torn country, coming here, starting over, only to be murdered by some animal who should have been behind bars on this light rail.
The committee digging into what is driving crime here, from repeat offenders to what some say are lenient bail decisions that put them back into the community.
In your view, how do lenient bail policies impact crime in Charlotte?
It would increase it because they know they're not going to be held accountable.
Gone!
Witnesses shared raw testimonies, including families whose loved ones were killed by repeat offenders.
She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that?
CMPD officer Justin Campbell, who is now disabled following last year's police ambush, pointing out the lengthy criminal history of the perpetrator that led to the death of 4 officers.
I believe in my heart that if you commit a crime against another person violently, that you should not have a bond. That you should sit in jail. The judicial system here in Mecklenburg County, I can speak firsthand, is trash.
Local leaders urging lawmakers to look beyond the jail cell, pushing for mental health and substance abuse resources and more funding and staffing to support the court system.
They're not going to be able to give enough drug rehabilitation to fix the crime problem. These people belong in jail. There is no other solution other than jail. You want to play patty cake with mental health and stuff, you do it on your own time. After they're in jail, you want to experiment with them, fine. But you don't do it while they're out on the street. Sorry, not sorry. We're sick of being slaughtered out here because of people with bleeding hearts, i.e. the liberal white woman. Let's call where the problem is coming from. I'm not racist. I'm sick of the liberal white woman. Okay? The liberal white woman is the most disgusting and appalling to me because they don't care who they hurt to get what they want. That's why I don't like them. They think their way is the right way no matter what. They will not see any different, and they don't care who they hurt to get what they want. That's why I don't like them. I can deal with liberal men. It's the liberal white woman, to me, that's the most dangerous. If you're a liberal white woman and I've offended you, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But I also know that that's a character and an integrity flaw. That's not something you're ever going to overcome. It's kind of like narcissism. Actually, it's a perfect example of what narcissism is. A liberal white woman. God bless. Sorry, not sorry. Now that I've done insulted half of the liberal white women that like to say that they're against, crime and violence, which doesn't go hand in hand. Now we're going to get on to some celebrity talk, folks. Holy smokes. The gift that keeps on giving, which is Nicole Kidman. Okay, I've never been a fan of Nicole Kidman. I think she's a snooty bitch. I think she's a messed up woman. I think she's mentally deranged, just me personally. But I also realized that Keith Urban, even though I thought he was a stud muffin back when I realized he had a lot of problems, a lot of substance abuse problems. And this is where it comes. This is why I don't like Hollywood. I could care less about Hollywood. Hollywood I do not idolize Hollywood. You know what? I feel sorry for Hollywood. I feel sorry for the children that are bred in Hollywood because they're all messed up, okay? Their parents are by far the most disgusting, vile, twisted, mental basket case, substance abuse, not holy, immoral, pieces of garbage I've ever seen. I have no Literally, there is very limited, very, very limited movie stars that I actually like. Okay? I don't watch movies. I don't support movies. I don't support people that want death to me. Okay? I do not care for George Clooney. I could care less. He's robbed the people blind. I think a lot of the people like that lady that's married to Ben Affleck, whatever, her and her children, I think her children are all messed up. I think, Will Smith, I used to love him when I was a kid. And now look at all their kids. Their kids are depressed. Their kids are unhappy. They're abusive to their freaking kids. Hollywood needs their children stripped from them. Their children are going to be so messed up. They're going to be so filled with drugs. They're going to be cutting themselves to all get out because they can't handle all the crap that their families have put them through. It's straight up abuse. And then when they're done abusing their children, they send them to doctors to pill them out. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, but I digress. Anyways, Keith Urban apparently had a lot of problems, and he had clauses. Nicole Kidman's like, I can't stand the substances, but I'll give you XYZ $600,000 a year. Every year you're sober. Well, it sounds like for the last 14 to 16 years he's been sober, so it sounds like he's going to be getting a massive payday with that clause in their stuff, their premarital contracts and stuff like that. It sounds like he's going to be walking away. I guess Nicole Kidman must be the breadwinner. And I still can't figure out how these movie stars make the kind of money that they make. They're stealing money from the American people. What they do is they have nonprofit organizations that they create, and they say they're going to help people. This is why they're able to live these luxury lifestyles even when we haven't seen them in movies in decades, right? We haven't seen Nicole Kidman really in a movie in 10 years, but yet she is this head honcho breadwinner and all this other stuff. It doesn't make sense. It's because a lot of people are doing these NGOs and other nonprofit organizations where they go and they have these career grant writers that go in there and say, hey, we're going to do this, and this. And they get hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money to go into these grants that they end up writing themselves, $2, $3, $4 million checks at the end of the year from all these different nonprofit organizations that they were able to extort money from the American people. That's what George Clooney has been doing most of his life. That's what even Robert De Niro has been doing. But Robert De Niro is basically broke now. Nobody wants to work with him. And he hates Trump. He's allowed his hate to literally ruin him. I will never watch or purchase another Robert De Niro movie until the day he's dead. Maybe then I might peek under the hood again. But until that day, until he's underground or burnt to a crisp, I don't care which, I probably will not be watching him. So anyways, here's the exclusive. It sounds like this is turning bad. We know Nicole Kidman married to Tom Cruise, had 2 children with Tom Cruise, broke that relationship off. We know Tom Cruise went on to marry that, what was her name? The lady that ended up divorcing him. How Tom Cruise doesn't really age very well, I don't know. But it sounds like he has kind of taken over the Scientology, and that's basically it's basically communist, right? It's communism. You signed all your stuff over to me. I'll if you're a movie star, I'll help elevate your career. Meanwhile, he's robbing all of his people blind. So, again, I just don't like any of these people. They're con men. They're narcissists. I have no look at Beyonce. Beyonce is one of the most fucked up people in the industry. She's completely whacked upstairs. Katie Holmes, thank you. She's completely whacked upstairs. She can't even have a birthday without being drunk and possessed. Right? She's so depressed. I don't idolize these people. I feel bad for them. Look at all this. All they know is drugs and God and how do they get themselves up so high? You know what? It's pretty sad. You would think that somebody that is Beyonce would protect their body, right? Protect themselves. But that body's been shared all over Hollywood. It's disgusting, right? Beyonce being bent over like a little bee. The immorality, just passing it around, using and abusing. As long as it's the VIPs, nobody's got to know. Well, you know what? People do know now. After Diddy's arrest, people do know about those freak offs. That's disgusting. It's disgusting. J-Lo, you're freaking disgusting, you ho-ho-ho. All of these people just slinging it. That's disgusting. These people have no morality. They have no integrity. They fucked their way to the top. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. J-Lo's a lot lower than you say. I mean, she's been on her knees many times to get to where she is. That's disgusting. Bullhorn Betty ain't getting on her knees for shit. Okay? I'm just saying. These people are disgusting. These people are disgusting. So getting back to Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, they're divorcing. It's not surprising. I'm actually surprised he toughed it out as long as he did. She seems like a basket case. You know? She really does. She seems like she is a controlling freak that worries more about her image than anything else. I don't know how Keith Urban did it. I think he was kind of like, I don't know, I think he was put on the whip. I think she was like, whip him in shape. I think he was whooped. I think he was whooped into shape. As you guys know, I really could care less about the whole thing, but let's read it. Exclusive. Keith Urban, the prenup, riches, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. Let me get this thing. There we go. Okay. What a cute little duo. Oh, good gracious. Look at them. Oh, my goodness. They were gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like, she even in her picture, she looks like a bitch. Don't like Nicole Kidman. I don't know why I don't like the lady. She just looks like a stuck-up, snooty you-know-what. Stuck-up, snooty you-know-what. I'm sorry, not sorry. Let's see. Like, there he's even got the sneaky cocaine clause in there. So I think he's going to be getting paid because it sounds like he wasn't sneaky. He sounds like he kept his nose clean, literally. Oh, we're so proud of you, Keith. He didn't go to the powder room as often as she did. We know he wanted to. I'm just joking. Okay. She was prettier before plastic. I know. Everybody was. I don't know why people get plastic surgery. I really don't. I think people just butcher their face and then they're stuck with it and they're like, oh, but I'm beautiful, knowing that they're not near as beautiful as they once were. Or maybe they actually think they are. I don't know. I think it's disgusting. I think these people are mental basket case. Just me personally. So Nicole Kidman is furious over the terms of her prenuptial agreement with Keith Urban, which could see the country star walk away with more than $17 million following their separation. The 58-year-old actress and 57-year-old singer signed an agreement before their 2006 wedding, entitled Urban to $600,000 for every year of marriage on the condition he remains sober, which he did. After 19 years together, insiders claim Kidman is consumed with anger. He now stands to collect the full amount. A source close to the couple said Nicole feels the clause was slipped in to protect Keith, but in the end, it protected his finances. She supported him through his addiction, and now she sees him benefiting from, well, that was the purpose, right? I mean, why would she put that in there if she didn't anticipate on, trying to save her husband? Another insider said the payout has sharpened tension at a difficult time. They claim Keith qualifies for a huge payout under he remained sober. Nicole is glad he stayed on the path, but says she resents the payoff coming out of her pocket. Oh, but you wanted your man. Come on. You know you wanted your man. She wanted her man so bad. She just wanted him sober. She figured, okay, I'll pay him to be sober. I'll pay him $600,000 a year to have to put up with my shit sober. That's what it came down to, because she knew nobody could put up with her shit sober. So she's like, okay, well, I don't want you all messed up on drugs, and if I kind of like you, so I might as well pay you to put up with my bullshit. That's what she did. I'll pay you $600,000 a year for you to put up with my bullshit sober. And he did. And after 19 years, he's like, babe, I can't do it no more. Just give my payday. Give my payday in my baggie in the back of a friggin' toilet. That's all I want. Just give me my toilet. I want my toilet. I don't need the toilet. Just give me the lid. That's all I need. Just give me the damn lid. Oh boy. Oh boy. So he stayed sober. Congratulations, Keith Urban. Sorry, wrong one. We're glad you stayed sober. We're glad you're getting the payday. We're glad you're getting the damn payday. All right, let's be honest. We're happy for him. We're happy for you, Keith. We're happy for you. We're sorry you had to put up with all the stuff you had to put up with. I'm pretty sure Nicole was not easy in any stretch of the imagination. Not easy at all. At all. Hey, Trent, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Gypsy, it's nice to see you. Did she try test him monthly? Who knows? She might have. Who knows? But, if there's been no claims that he hasn't been sober and he's been sober, well, she screwed. Hand him over that 17 mil. And she's pissed off it's coming out of her side of the damn prenups. She did the prenup to protect herself. Remember that. She did the prenup to protect herself. Well, she just didn't expect the prenup to actually work, and guess what it did? It made her pony up a whole bunch of money. Okay, guys, this is a mysterious death. Many of you guys know about Ellen Greenberg. This is a lady this is, I believe, who murdered her right here. This is her fiance. She was having a break. She didn't want to teach anymore. She was under a lot of stress. They were getting ready to get married. She was having a breakdown. He went down to work out. I watched the video. He looks like a bumbling fool. And then she has all these knife stabs all over her. He was the only one with the motive, means, and opportunities to do this to her. And yet he still hasn't been arrested. Yet her family still had to go and sue this investigative body that said their daughter did self-harm, that she managed to stab herself all this time like a bunch of idiots. And so they went to the court. The court says, okay, you need to open this investigation, and we still have no, because this is the law enforcement. I'm telling you, we're going to end up having to go and help this family. If anybody knows this family and they want the Bullhorn Betty channel's help, which basically is bringing a shit show to town and making these law enforcement lives completely uncomfortable, lawfully and legally, please have the family reach out to me. bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm happy to help start getting some of this stuff moving in the right direction, lawfully and legally. But when I go in, I need the support of, especially one that's this long lengthwise. This happened years ago. If they need that kind of help, they're going to have to, be in full support of the type of help. I'll go through what I do, see if it's something that they're interested in. But if you know these people and you think they would be interested in the kind of work that we provide, please give them not my phone number, but my email address, and have them get a hold of me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. So just to get a little idea of what's going on with this case, we're going to come over here and learn about this. This is death in apartment 603. That was her apartment number. I still think her boyfriend or fiance should be in prison. I'm unsure why he's not in prison, but we've got an idiot, or idiots, that are called law enforcement in this area that don't know their ass from their elbow. And that's all there is to it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Law enforcement dropped the ball, and this lady may not have justice because of the crap work that they did. And I'm very concerned about that going on in Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' case as well. We are going to do a benefit and an event for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in February. I hope everybody is going to be out there. I've got to get the flyer out and disseminated. Please have all your favorite true crime content creators put the flyer on blast so we can get as many people. My goal is a minimum of 100 people to line up and down the roads on February 26th in Sebastian's honor. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get this. There we go. All right, we're getting close to the ending of our show, just to let you know.
To look forward to, found dead with 20 stab wounds in her own kitchen.
So 20 stab wounds in her own kitchen. Let me get down to, there we go.
Questions.
My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no! Oh no!
A broken latch, a pool of blood, and 20 knife wounds.
20 knife wounds. I want you guys to consider that. 20 knife wounds, okay? We've dealt with the dad is not letting it go. No, of course not. No father. No, that's why. This is why when we see parents not fighting for their children, we know it's a red flag, because we see so many cases of parents that never give up on their children. Look at Stephen Smith's mom. Stephen Smith's mom fought years to find out what happened to her son. Rachel Morin, family fighting to find out what happened to their daughter. Families fight, and they fight ruthlessly, and they don't give a shit about anybody when it comes to their children and their flock. They don't care, okay? So whenever you see a parent not doing these things, not having this urgency, not having that fight in them, there's a reason. And don't ever think it's because, well, maybe they didn't know. These things, do you think these parents, do you think they got an instruction book that said, hey, your child was murdered, here's what you need to do, right? Nobody gets that kind of instruction book. It's called instinct. And if their parents' instincts aren't hitting correctly, there's a reason. Why? Why are their instincts different than normal parents' instincts? Maybe because something doesn't make sense. Something is out of character here. Because their behavior is out of character here. So the father is fighting for his child. We just saw just a little bit before here where we had the father related to the South Carolina. Where am I? I lost it. But the South Carolina incident where the father's screaming at them saying, you know, this guy, 40 charges let out. 40 charges let out. And so you see that father fighting for his child. You know who you didn't see fighting for their child is Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Never fought for their child, never set up a search for their child. These people want her fiance, her ex-fiance, arrested because they know he killed them. They know he killed their daughter. They know it without a doubt. Law enforcement could prove it without a doubt, but they screwed up the entire case. Where does it go from here? I don't know.
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
Ellen Greenberg was found dead by her fiancé in the kitchen of their Philadelphia apartment in 2011.
In their Philadelphia apartment, not only was she dead, she had a knife protruding out of her chest, and he's playing dumb on the phone with 911. He's playing dumb. Oh, I think she killed herself. Oh my God, she's got a knife protruding through her chest. It was all fake. And law enforcement is too stupid?
The medical examiner initially ruled the 27-year-old's death a homicide before switching to suicide.
Philadelphia is calling this a suicide just does not add up.
This is an unusual case because there were mistakes from the very beginning. I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
The case shut without further investigation.
And that was the most important out of all of this, was the backside wounds. You know, we have seen front side wounds, even ones that I question. I'll still question to this day as being, you know, just put on you by yourself. You know, the pain of it, the other stuff of it, it doesn't make sense with the stabbing. But there have been some that, you know, are self-inflicted. Not on this case, but we've seen some where they were self-inflicted, where a person just lost their, you know, ever-loving stuff and just started stabbing themselves. But it's all in a concentrated area. It's all in the same stuff, and it's all so very quickly because the person is freaking out, and that's how it happens. You're not going to go drawing it out like that. It's too painful. The only way you're going to get those multiple stab wounds, self-penetrating stab wounds, is if you're doing it rapidly. I have not seen somebody, you know, go boom and then boom, you know, and then just keep going. You know, there are some people that have, I guess, on substances and otherwise, but typically if somebody's losing their shit, they're flailing. Their hands are moving rapidly, at least with my experience. But I digress. The bottom line is this case here is not going away. It doesn't sound like the boyfriend has been, here's the downstairs. It doesn't sound like the boyfriend has been arrested. He should be arrested. This man right here, in my opinion, is a murderer. He's a murderer. He looks fake. He looks fake. Why isn't he in jail?
She shared with her fiance, Sam Goldberg.
What we know is Sam Goldberg left the apartment at approximately 4:50 p.m. Per him, Ellen is alive and well and inside of that apartment. He is gone for give or take 38 and a half to 40 minutes at the gym and the lobby area, which you can see on CCTV.
Sam says he goes back to their apartment.
It's this area here. I will be honest with you. What makes me know that he is responsible, it's this area here. Although they cut it out of this video, he kind of intentionally stumbles around here, you know, like lollygags. You know, doesn't he seems like he's trying to draw down a time clock of some sort. He kind of, you know, is in the gym area, and then he kind of comes out here and kind of fumbles around, right? Fuddles around out here in this area before getting on the elevator and going up. That's when I knew. It was the behavior in this specific area that he had, that they cut out when I watched it the first time, that made me say, that's abnormal behavior.
Apartment to find it locked, latched from the inside. He texts Ellen multiple times to let him in, and after making trips to the front desk, he says he breaks down their front door, where he finds Ellen slouched over on their kitchen floor.
Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
She found a knife. Oh no, her knife's sticking out.
Oh no, the knife is sticking out. It sounded so fake. It sounded so fake. The man should be in jail. He's still not in jail. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to continue to monitor this case and what's going on with Ellen Greenberg. But if you don't know, the family did go to court. The courts did side with the family. They're entitled to an investigation, and law enforcement is still screwing around. So if the family wants to ratchet up some pressure on this law enforcement body as well as the community, reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm happy to provide all of our work that we do is raised by our team for our team. We do not charge any of these families any type of money whatsoever to help or assist them in any way. Where else are we? Yes, the serial killer. Houston, we have a problem. So there has been a large growing concern out in Texas about this potential of having a serial killer out there in the mix of stuff. So a lot of people are concerned. They're saying that things aren't right, that there's bodies being pulled out of a bayou over a matter of like 2 or 3 days. I believe they pulled out 3 or 4 bodies, I think over a span of a week. I think it was up to 6 bodies. Potentially. Let's just read this article so everybody can get right with the information. On Thursday, September 25th, another body was pulled out of the waterways near Commerce and Milam in downtown Houston, marking the 15th body in the bayous in 2025. This marks the 15th body pulled from a bayou. The alarming pace of 6 bodies within 10 days has sparked growing public concern about a potential serial killer. Now, remember, we also had Lady Bird Lake, which is also in Texas. You know, we got to remember that because we know, like with Rex Heuermann, he was dumping bodies on Gilgo Beach until he was caught, and then he started dumping bodies elsewhere, or vice versa. So we had 6 bodies pulled out within a matter of 10 days. It's sparking this potential for serial killers. However, city officials, much like in Oregon, saying, don't look over here, nothing to see over here. We've got nothing to believe that there's a serial killer until they decide to come out. We don't listen to law enforcement in times like this because law enforcement, we know, lies to us. And because we are social media, not mainstream media, we tell our audience that law enforcement has a tendency of lying in situations like this because they don't want to worry their public. I don't know whether this should be worrying their public or not, but 15 people were only in October. That's over a body a month being pulled out of bayous in Texas. I've got a problem with that, and I'm surprised that they don't have a problem with that. There is no serial killer. Stop spreading misinformation. Hey, John Whitmire, go screw yourself. You're pulling bodies out like you're plucking candy or corn. Don't sit there and tell people not to be concerned or stop spreading misinformation. Because the last time we were told to stop spreading misinformation, it was in Oregon. And guess what we found out? All those ladies we brought up, guess what? It was a serial killer, you dum-dum. You dum-dum. So Mayor John Whitmire, stop while you're ahead. Because you don't want Bullhorn Betty or the true crime community starting to blow up your email and telephones and stuff like that. It's kind of what we kind of do. We apply pressure when people become assholes. And if you don't want to be considered an asshole with social media, I would stop while you're ahead. And saying that there's no serial killer when you're pulling out 6 bodies in 10 days, I think is very, very, very much ignorant. And I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong for you not to take into consideration the concerns of your constituents. The concerns of your constituents, and you want to shame them. That's not a good path forward in politics. We will circle back on this. Bullhorn Betty's going to be the circle back chick. I'm going to be the new circle back chick. I am. According to Houston Police Department Chief No Diaz, the medical examiner's office is still working to determine the cause of death for each case so far. So they don't even have the cause of death. Meanwhile, Mayor's over here screaming at people. Mayor, sit down and shut up. Let the big boys and girls handle it. So far, investigators say there's no evidence of foul play or any connection between the recent cases. It runs the gamut, different genders, which I do agree that there was a female, male, the age difference range, but who knows? That might be the serial killer's pattern. What if the serial killer's pattern is no pattern at all? Different victims, different weapons. That would throw people off. I think a serial killer, a narcissistic serial killer, would be trying to find ways to throw people off, making sure that they're not linked together. Could that be a thing? Probably. There's no clear link between them. Another among the 6 bodies within days was Jade McKissick, a University of Houston student who went missing on September 11th. McKissick's autopsy found no signs of trauma, police said. 4 bodies remain unidentified, and 1 identified as being held pending family notification. Criminologist Krista, I don't like people with book smarts. I think people with book smarts are ignorant. Ignorant as shit. You're never going to be anything unless you have street smarts. If you're going to be a counselor, you need to have a drug problem. If you're going to be somebody that talks about domestic violence and how to end domestic violence, you need to be an abused victim. You cannot go to school and be taught the things that we are being taught out there in real world. Okay, it does not sync together. So I really don't care about criminologists and stuff like that. That's the Brian Kobergers, where people, they want to study all this stuff, and they think that they're smarter, and even though theory does not even equate to practice, but they always want to say the people that practice don't know what the hell they're talking about. I can tell you I'm smarter than any type of criminologist. I'm smarter than any type of drug counselor that has never had a drug problem in their life. I am absolutely smarter and know exactly what it takes to get off or go through a lot of stuff that a person that went to school would never have a clue of how to do. So said environmental factors could be contributing to the sudden rise of visible bodies, change in temperature, water levels. So we have a student that's out in a bayou that has no reason of being there, has no trauma to the body, but nothing to see over here. I find that bizarre. Sometimes bodies sink but why are they in there to sink? And how does a college student go into a bayou alone with nobody else? It doesn't make sense. 6 bodies in 2 weeks, and y'all don't think it's a serial killer, one Instagram wrote? Exactly. Because sometimes our law enforcement is too arrogant and too quick to dismiss things because, oh my God, we got students. We've got the, it's about to be season. We have the tourists coming in. Everybody shut up. We care about the money, not the safety. Says every single public official, and why we do not believe them. Something's going on in Texas. Something has been brouhahaing in Texas for a long time, and I think it all started with Lady Bird Lake. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Now we're here in the bayous, more bodies. Texas has got a problem. And yeah, I'm not opposed to saying I believe it's possible that Texas has a serial killer. Maybe not all of these are serial killers, but I'm telling you, you got 6 bodies coming out in 10 days. That's enough to make you stop and listen, Mayor. I don't give a rat's ass who you are, where you come from, but don't disrespect your constituents. When you start pulling 6 bodies in 10 days, everybody has a right to be heard, and for you to damn them and tell them, oh, shut up. That's a good way to get people like me up your craw to make sure that you're never elected again. And trust me, once we start sicking our people on you, it's done, son. I don't have to be a part of it. What I do is I set up groups, I sick my people on you, and I step away. I step away, and then they start gnawing on that bone. That's all I do. I step away. I don't have a hand in nothing. I just have the vision. Put the vision in somebody else and let it do its work. So I think there is something going on in Texas. I think something's been going on in Texas in a very, very, very long time. Let's look at Lady Bird Lake. Let me just read this. I'm pretty sure it's Lady Bird Lake is in Texas. Yes, it's a reservoir in Texas. 38 bodies. 38 bodies. They didn't want to believe that this was a serial killer either. But 38 bodies out of Lady Bird Lake. 38 bodies. Now we're pulling 15 bodies out of bayous. Don't tell me that there's not something going on in Texas. Folks, in Texas, eyes and ears, be vigilant. Be vigilant, especially around water. I don't know where these people are going. I don't know how they're getting into these waters. I don't know how they're getting into these waters with no foul play. Now we have something like 50 or 60 bodies in very specific areas, but nothing to see over here, and no serial killer, according to Mayor Lips. Never mind. Mayor needs to be fired, okay? When the mayor is so close-minded after 60 some odd bodies popping up in and around Texas and damns the people for saying and spreading misinformation. He's the one spreading misinformation. He's the one so small-minded and closed-minded that he's not willing to listen to his constituents. Anybody like that needs to be fired. Remove them from their job, okay? You don't put up with that. Let me reinstill, common sense into our voting body, okay? We don't take stuff like that. When people start talking to us like that, like they know better, they're saying there's no evidence in, but this mayor knows better than anybody else, right? He needs to be fired. The only person's passing around misinformation is that mayor. He needs to be fired. You know why? Because he would never tell you the truth if something happened. How do I know that? Because he just lied to you about this. That's how I know. That's how I know. He didn't have any information to make that statement, yet he made that statement. Why? Because it was better for his community for them to look the other way and not consider a serial killer. That is a dangerous mayor. That means he will lie to you about everything. Stuff that puts you in danger, this man will lie to you. That's not a good look for a mayor. Fire him. If you know what's good for you, Texas, fire that mayor. You don't want somebody like that working for you. Trust me. Been around in a long enough time to know what I'm talking about here. Fire him. Fire him, fire him, fire him. All right, guys, that is our show. We had an opportunity to go through some of the government shutdown. I'm not really anticipating this being a big deal, at least for me. I know that there are people on some type of benefit from their government. Those things may be affected. Right now, they're not going to be affected, but they may be affected depending on how long this shutdown is for. I don't care if it's for 7 weeks, and I'm sorry that you guys have to struggle through it, but this is going to be a struggle we must have. We cannot allow this to continue in our country. Byron Donalds, I hope anybody that's from the state of Florida does help support my mission to have Byron Donalds, our governor here of the state of Florida. I've been working on this for literally a decade. It's finally being realized, and we possibly could have Byron Donalds as our governor. I've been working very, very hard, and I want him to be our governor. So please consider him if you are a Florida voter. The David and Celeste case is blowing my mind. We've got a lot of bad actors throughout the entire case. The Celeste family is partly responsible, and I think they should be charged with some type of negligence and abuse. I think David needs to be charged with her death. I think he's responsible for her death. Him or his manager, one of the two or both, are neck deep in this, in my opinion. And I hope to see some justice coming soon for Celeste. Lester Isbell, it sounds like his justice is coming little by slow on a civil level, but also a criminal level. It sounds like the coroner has, or the medical examiner has ruled his death a homicide. And that means those people inside that jail were responsible for his death, not just as negligent, but as homicide. They killed him. We have a serial killer in Houston, Texas. The mayor there in the area is basically shaming the community. Fire him if you guys know what's best for you. Never have him again as any type of leader, because he's not. And find out what is going on in the state of Texas. Something's going on there. They dismissed Lady Bird Lake. They're dismissing these bayous. Now we have something like 50 or 60 bodies that people believe are associated with a serial killer, and still these people in Texas are sticking their heads in the sand. I don't like it. I don't like it. Keep pushing for more, folks in Texas. These are victims. They need to have answers. And again, just like Oregon, we were told that there was no serial killer until there was. And now they find out these 6 people are dead because of one man. One man. So don't listen to we don't trust our government anymore. They will lie to our face. They will lie to our face. Okay? When we go to the ballot box, we need to make sure that the people we're hiring we know and we trust. If you do not know this person and you do not trust this person, quit putting a vote next to their flippin' name. Please, do us a favor. Quit being so irresponsible. Keith, Urban and Nicole Kidman are divorcing. Ellen Greenberg, we are planning on diving into. I know Panda Bear's mom's been still on the drumbeat of Tate, Devil and Tate. We still need to go there. Netflix, if you have not ended your contract with Netflix, now's a great time. They are grooming our children. And they're trying to sexualize our children in this country, and everything that we've taught our children about bad touch, they're trying to express to them as now good touch. They want our children to be abused sexually by adults. That's the only explanation for what they are doing, is to target our children to turn them into play toys for these twisted, demented people in our country. And clearly the left is supporting that. Why? Oh, that's right. They have all the twisted fuckers in their category. So if you guys are sick of being twisted fuckers, maybe come over to the the Republican side and ditch the Democrat. Let's do a, I don't know, a Plexit. You know, that you're done with pedos and pedos and you're ready to make a ditch the abuse of our children. When you're ready to ditch the abuse of our children, please consider coming over to the Republican side. I feel like we're the only side of sanity right now. When the Democrats get their sanity back, then you can go back to the Democrat side. But until then, while they're trying to groom and abuse our children, I think it's time for you to exit stage right. Just my opinion. Just my opinion, because it seems like a lot of twisted people have D's next to their name. And I guarantee all those teachers that are screwing their kids, that they're getting arrested, those liberal white women that are teaching our children in school, I guarantee you they're Democrats. I guarantee you the moms that are, the women that are screwing your children while you're sending them to school, I'm almost 100% positive that every single one of them are Democrats. So go ahead and keep that Democrat by your name, and I'm going to continue to call you pedophiles. If you don't like it, change the D to an R. Because not only is the Democrat Party the party of murderers, they're the party of pedophiles. I can't get down like that, folks. Can't get down like that. So God bless you. God bless this country, and more importantly, protect our damn children. And if you're not going to protect our children, I will. I'll call you a pedo until you start protecting our children. Okay, there's something going on in Tennessee as well as Texas, and we need to get that under control. Again, this is the Bullhorn Betty channel. Love me, hate me, I really don't care. I'll be here tomorrow, and I'm going to be sleeping just fine tonight as well. So God bless you. Thank you. D is for demonic. That's the way it's looking this day and age. D is for demonic. Call your politicians, your Democrat pedophile politicians, and tell them to open the damn country back up. God bless.